I remember the night I drove deep into the Appalachian Mountains, chasing solitude and clean air. The trees felt ancient, like they were watching every move I made. The road, barely wide enough for my truck, disappeared into darkness so absolute it looked alive. I didn't realize then that reality itself was about to break. A thick fog rolled down the ridge, swallowing the headlights in seconds. My GPS glitched, flickering between coordinates that made no sense. The numbers rearranged themselves, cycling through impossible times and dates. Something inside me whispered that the mountain didn't want to be found. I reached a clearing just before midnight, where the air felt charged, electric. The forest around me had gone perfectly silent, no crickets, no wind, nothing but the low hum of unseen power. It was as if the world had paused, holding its breath. I killed the engine and stepped out into that silence. The smell hit first, damp soil and smoke, though there was no fire. My flashlight beam caught faint shapes among the fog, like silhouettes frozen mid-motion. When I aimed directly at one, it disappeared, leaving behind a faint shimmer, as though the air had torn. My pulse began to pound in my throat. Off to the left, a narrow trail led upward, winding through twisted trees. Each step creaked over roots that seemed to shift beneath my boots. The forest whispered in frequencies I couldn't fully hear, like an unfinished sentence escaping the wind. My light flickered 3 times, then steadied again. The trail's peak, I found an old fire ring made of blackened stones, long cold, but surrounded by footprints far too large to be human. Each one pressed inches deep into the soil. Something heavy had been here, recently. My headlamp caught claw marks etched into a tree's bark, parallel and deliberate. Then came the whispering again, closer now. It was unmistakably human, low voices, speaking words I couldn't place in any language. I turned slowly, expecting to see someone just outside the reach of light. Nothing. The voices ended the instant I faced them, like they had been waiting for me to listen. I stumbled back down the path toward my truck, but the trail no longer matched what I remembered. The trees were wrong, too tall, too close, as if they had rearranged themselves in my absence. The air thickened, vibrating with invisible force, like static electricity against skin. Panic began to take shape in my chest. Halfway down, I noticed the glow. It throbbed faintly behind the fog, bluish-white and pulsing slowly, almost breathing. Against every instinct I followed it, drawn by curiosity stronger than fear. The light emanated from a hollow between 2 massive stones, but nothing mechanical or natural explained it. As I stepped closer, the ground rippled, like water struck by unseen movement. The glow expanded suddenly, revealing strange symbols burning across the stone's surface. They rearranged in patterns every few seconds, each one accompanied by a deep, metallic hum. I could feel it resonate inside my bones. Then everything stopped, the humming, the light, even the wind. In that dead quiet, I heard my own voice whisper behind me, "Don't move." I froze, terrified beyond comprehension. Slowly, I turned, heart hammering in my chest, but when I looked, no one stood there. The forest floor seemed wrong, subtly rearranged. My own footprints vanished, replaced by another set leading exactly opposite of mine. It looked like I had just walked backward in time. The fog brightened again, revealing faint outlines of myself, dozens of me, frozen at different moments. It flickered in and out like bad film stock, each version of me glancing around, scared and confused, unaware of the others. One turned its head directly toward me and mouthed something I couldn't hear. The movement was slow, unnatural, like a broken frame repeating. I wanted to run, but my legs didn't respond. Suddenly, everything collapsed into blinding light. For a single heartbeat, I saw the forest stretch infinitely, trees repeating like reflections inside mirrors facing each other. A sound like shattering glass filled the air, and I felt weightless. Then, darkness. No ground. No form. Only absolute silence. When I woke, I was inside my truck with daylight filtering through the windshield. My phone read 9 minutes past noon. The last memory I had was just before midnight. Outside, the forest looked ordinary again, birds calling in the distance, as though nothing had ever happened. Something was off. The trees on the opposite slope formed a perfect pattern, triangles, too intentional to be natural. My dashboard clock ticked backward once, then corrected itself. No amount of button pressing reset it. I felt an invisible eye staring from the ridgeline above. I drove out fast, gravel spraying under the tires. The forest seemed to stretch longer than before, the same turns repeated again and again. I passed the same fallen log 3 times, despite driving in a straight line. The GPS continued to stammer coordinates that didn't exist anywhere on Earth. A single radio signal broke through the static, my own voice repeating, slightly distorted, "You shouldn't be here." It played once, then cut out, leaving only the hiss of dead air. When I finally reached the highway, my mirror caught movement in the back seat. Nothing was there. Days later, I studied the footage from my dashcam. The timestamps jumped sporadically, skipping entire hours. Between frames, there was a figure beside the road, tall, gray, featureless, always facing the lens. Every time I paused, the video distorted, glitching at the exact moment that figure appeared. Locals told me stories of hikers who vanished there, entire groups, gone without trace. They called the place the ridge that remembers. They said it mirrors your path, showing you what could have been, what should have been, and what never was. None of them dared climb it after dark. I returned a week later, determined to prove it was all in my head. Same road, same fog, but the mountains looked sharper, edges humming faintly like vibrating metal. Something about the color of the sky didn't fit, it was too pale, too empty of stars. My reflection in the window didn't match my expressions. The clearing, the stones no longer glowed. But my footprints were still there, fresh, deep, untouched by rain or time. I walked in circles, comparing soles, until I realized the prints facing me didn't match my boots anymore. They were larger, almost identical, except the stride was longer, beyond human. An unseen vibration rippled through the air, subtle but growing quickly, pressing against my chest. I dropped to my knees as the forest seemed to pulse in waves. The light returned, but it came from beneath the ground this time, spreading upward, through roots, through stone, into the sky. Within that glow, I saw shadowy figures, human shapes made of smoke, shifting endlessly. They weren't walking but phasing, flickering between where they stood and where they were going next. One figure reached out, and the fog bent around its arm like liquid. My vision warped, threatening to collapse. Before I lost consciousness, I heard my own laugh echoing from the trees, a deep, distorted version of myself. It spoke my name with absolute certainty, as though confirming something. Then the world folded inward, like the pages of a burning book closing onto its final word. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on my living room floor, drenched in mud. My boots were gone. The TV, unplugged, flickered on by itself showing static-filled footage of a forest clearing. It panned slowly to reveal my truck, headlights still on, deep in the mountains. I drove back to that same location days later, accompanied by 2 friends. The trailhead had vanished, completely overgrown, as though untouched for decades. There were no stones, no clearing, and no footprints. The GPS placed us 30 miles west of where the footage claimed we were. In town, the locals avoided eye contact when I mentioned the ridge. An old man outside a gas station finally muttered, "You came back different." His eyes reflected something hollow, maybe recognition, maybe warning. He refused to sell me gas, waving me away with trembling hands. At home, every mirror in the house began warping slightly around my reflection. It was subtle, just a shimmer at first. But then, the reflection would lag behind, moving fractions of a second after I did. I covered them all, unable to look myself in the eyes anymore. Night after night, I heard the forest again, rustling branches, the same low hum under my window. My phone recorded whispers without me touching it. Each playback revealed words assembling slowly, "One of us now." I threw the phone outside. The whispers grew louder after midnight. One dawn, I noticed a thin layer of soil beneath the walls, rich, black earth like the forest floor. Roots pushed through the corners of my living room, coiling across the carpet. Every morning it spread further, like the mountain reaching out to reclaim me. I reached out online, searching for others who'd seen similar things. Dozens of anonymous stories appeared, each describing glitches, echoes, double selves in the Appalachians. But every link vanished minutes later. Even cached versions dissolved, replaced by errors reading, "Source not found." Last night, someone knocked on my door at exactly 12 midnight. The knock came 3 times, then silence. Through the peephole, I saw myself standing there, covered in mud, eyes blank and unblinking. When I opened the door, the hall was empty except for wet footprints leading back into darkness. Now, even as I speak this, I hear the forest calling again, the same hum echoing beneath the floorboards. My clocks spin backward, the lights flicker as though reality keeps resetting around me. I don't know if I ever left those mountains at all. Maybe I never will. If you ever find yourself on an unmarked trail in the Appalachians, and your GPS begins to glitch, turn back. Don't follow the fog, don't trust your reflection, and never respond if you hear your own voice whisper from the trees. Some paths lead not forward, but deeper into something else. That's what I saw in the Appalachian Mountains, something between worlds, something that remembers every step we take. The forest hides it well, waiting patiently for the next curious soul. I can still feel its heartbeat beneath the ground when I close my eyes. It's still calling me home.